Hey guys, it's Ray, and we are streaming blacksmithing today. I have made my app function a little bit better, so I should be able to see you guys' comments a little bit better and do a little bit more of the moderator type stuff. It looks like I can raid people and edit my stream. I should be able to see chat as well. So hopefully it holds out and I can make that work for me. So today we are going to start off with a little bit of housekeeping. Last Wednesday, we had 2 followers join us, Fred 75002 and Morts. Thank you both so very much for your follows. I'm very grateful for everyone's followers, or for everyone's follows, and all of the activity and engagement that I've gotten to the channel in recent times. So a couple more things for housekeeping. I'm having a couple technical difficulty issues. One of my camera holders broke, so I've only got the one now, and it's like the one for the wide. I'll try and do as much of a close-up as possible, but it's not going to be an over the anvil close-up, unfortunately. It's going to be like more, closer to the anvil, but more to the side of the anvil. So some of the details is going to get a little bit lost. So I apologize for that. So today I came up with an idea for a YouTube video. So today's speaking is going to be a little bit more scripted. I'm trying to get rid of a bunch of my ums and ahs. So hopefully going over, well, I can already see myself umming and ahhing, but hopefully I'll be able to cut out a few ums and ahs here and there. Because I did kind of go over what I wanted to talk about today. So today, as the title suggests, we are streaming bottle opening basics. So we are going to make 2 bottle openers today, hopefully. There are so many different types of bottle openers, so many different designs for bottle openers, but we're going to focus, or where we're going to focus today is the actual mechanical part of the bottle opener. We are going to, if I can open it. Yeah, we're going to focus primarily on the mechanical bottle opener. There are as many ways of decorating a bottle opener as there are crafters who create the bottle openers. But there are 2 basic styles of bottle openers. So the first style, the one that I learned first really, is the round bottle opener. So here is a round bottle opener that I made. So basically you put this top area on the cap itself and then hook this little divot underneath of the bottle cap, and then you use it as a lever to pull the cap off. So we've got our bottle and our cap, and it goes just like this, and you use the leverage to open the cap. The second style of bottle opener is more of a forked bottle opener. I don't have, or like that you would find on like a Swiss Army knife or a multi-tool. I don't have one that I have currently made, but the way this works is you place the long end on top of the cap, the short end of the fork below the cap, and then you leverage it up to pop the cap off. So like I said, we are going to start with the mechanical function of the bottle opener. So what I've got here is I've got a piece of round stock. This is a 1/2 inch round stock, and I have our default 1/4 inch square stock. So for the round stock, I have planned to do the round open. And for the square stock, it's kind of skinnier. We're going to draw that out and make the long forked bottle opener design. So first things first, I gotta turn on the forge. We can make it work for us today. There we go. Hey guys, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for the lurk. All right. So I think we're going to start with our square stock, and we're going to start with that straight hook because the straight bottle opener, because it is the simpler of the two designs. So into the forge we go. A few things to note about today. We are a little bit on the cold side and we're running low on gas. So it isn't going to take as long for our gas to freeze up and lose pressure. So there will probably be a time where I have to change our gas tanks. That should only take about 5 minutes or so. We will have to wait a little bit longer for the forge to heat back up. But we are doing our best here. I'll try and get it done as quickly as possible. So yeah, we are at 27 followers. Like I said, we are trying to get to affiliate, and so I need 23 more followers in order to reach affiliate status. From there, I can start monetizing a little bit. The consumables and the steel aren't free, so I need to be able the goal is to be able to kind of support the stream a little bit so I can keep going. And it's less of a burden on the finances. Let's see what else is going on today that we can talk about. We will be streaming on Monday next week. That will be our second day for bottle opener basics. We are going to focus on decorating the bottle openers that we have created today. I will probably try and do a little bit of decoing at the end of towards the end of the stream. But if we don't get finished with the bottle openers that we're making today, we will continue those on Monday. If we are able to finish our bottle openers today, then we will definitely start a new set of bottle openers and we'll go through the entire process. We will forge out the mechanical section of the bottle openers and then we will decorate them. And I'm really looking forward to designing another bottle opener. The one that I showed you guys that I made, it's a little bit long and I'm not entirely happy with it, or I wasn't when I made it. So I'll come up with a good design this weekend and we'll go and we'll forge that out. I also encourage all of you to think about good designs for bottle openers and like the decorations on there. We'll probably go over twists a little bit. So maybe 1 or 2 different types of twists. We've got just the regular twist, and there's some fluted twists that we can do, a back and forth twist. We're probably not going to get too complex as far as like a Rubik's Cube twist. We'll save that for another day. So yeah, I am looking forward to doing that. We can also do things like scrolls that we can add on to our bottle openers. There is also like animal heads and things like that. I've seen horses and deer and all kinds of really cool animals, and that would be a lot of fun to do too, I think. So we'll pick a variety of different things that we can use to deco our bottle openers, and we'll focus on those on Monday. On Wednesday, that's Christmas, so I will not be streaming. We will be visiting with family and doing the Christmas thing out of town. So we will be getting home on Thursday, and so I am uncertain if we're going to make our stream on Friday. It depends on what time we get back on Thursday night. I've got a little bit if I get really, really exhausted from the trip, I may end up skipping Friday's stream, and we'll start up again a week from Monday. Yeah. So that is the plan. We will definitely be streaming all week, the week of New Year's, because I don't party too hard on New Year's Eve or anything like that. So I should be plenty rested up in order to stream on New Year's Day. All right, we will be moving the camera a bit today. Like I said, I broke my close-up over the anvil stand, so it's going to be a little bit less over the anvil today. So we will 100% get it over over the anvil angle on Monday, so that you guys can see more details in that way. So that is the plan. So I'm going to bring you a little bit closer. We will, like I said, have to move the camera a few times today because I don't just use the anvil for this project. I have to use the vise as well. So we'll get as good over the anvil as we can. And hopefully you'll be able to see pretty well. See if I go. There we go. Close up on the anvil. Should be able to see pretty well. So for the start of a bottle opener, the basic bottle opener, we are going to hammer out the section that allows us to open the bottle. So we are thinning out the tip of the bottle opener with a slightly angled hammer. right up against the edge of the anvil, very similarly to the leaf. However, this time we're only going to be smashing down on one side. We are not going to continue the taper on the 90 degree, and we're not going to flatten it out or like center it by hammering on both sides of the same base. So we're going to continue to flatten that out. So I'll take you back. Hopefully the transitions aren't too bad. If they get bad, let me know, and I will try and cut them down a bit. Looks like I'm a little bit on the cockeyed side, so I will fix that real fast. So today, it's pretty cold outside. It's 32 degrees today in the area, so it's really, really cold, and I'm kind of waiting for the forge to heat up the shop. I don't have, or it's not quite cold enough for me to turn on the shop's heating system. It tends to not turn on until it is below zero. It's just enough to keep you from, you know, freezing too badly, so from being really, really uncomfortable. So I'm still wearing my good work jacket and waiting on that forge to heat things up. But like I said, as a result, I'm a little bit worried about the gas starting to freeze. Yeah. When the gas freezes, then the pressure drops and I have to change tanks. But we'll show you how to change the tanks. Like I said, I'll try and do it a little bit on the fast side so that it's not too distracting and we can get back to work as fast as possible. But it is something that, you know, it is a hazard of working with propane as opposed to coal. Coal is a lot easier to maintain your fire. As long as you've got coal, you can just put more on top and it'll keep burning. And all of the excess, like stuff that won't burn, it'll fall down to the bottom and you can scoop it out at the end. It's a lot easier for a beginner, in my opinion. It's slightly more safe, but it is, or for you, but it is a little bit harder to work with as far as metal is concerned. The gas, or the beauty of a gas forge is that it does not melt your material. The oxygen and propane mix within the forge itself does not allow a piece of metal to melt in there. You can get up to a forge welding temperature, which is kind of just on that nose where they're almost at a melting point, but not quite. You can hardly hear me. Okay. Let's see. Let me test my stuff. Testing, 1, 2. Let's see. It looks like my microphone is still working. I don't really have a way to Is that better? Okay. All right, cool. I think what happened is I'm wearing a magnetic mic in my shirt, and I think my coat kind of like angled it down a little bit. So hopefully you can hear me better now. Awesome. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, should be better now. Thank you for letting me know so I can take care of that. So yeah, the oxygen and propane mix in the gas forge does not let the steel reach that or tip over that melting point. So it will always maintain a solid form. It does get to the point where you can stick two pieces of metal together. So when you get it just over or just to its melting point, as long as the two pieces of material are clean, if you hammer them together at that temperature, they'll affix together and weld themselves together. It's a lot easier for me personally to see that when I'm using a coal forge. So one day someday when we are doing forge welding demos, I will probably pull out the coal forge and we'll look at that. Awesome. All right. I am glad that it was just the jacket and it wasn't it's kind of a Bluetooth mic, so I'm glad it wasn't like interference with the Bluetooth. All right, we are good to go with our heat on the bottle opener, so I'm going to take you back to the anvil. And of course I would drop everything in the process. Okay, so we're going to continue to thin out that edge, because the thinner it is, the better it's going to function when you with the bottle opener, or function under or leveraging underneath of the cap. So yeah, it should function pretty well. So the next job that we're going to do is we are going to start tapering out the backside a little bit, because what we want to do is we want to give ourselves a good handle. We have to fold the lever over so that it functions. And in order to make a really nice smooth transition, we're going to taper this out so that it's a little bit thinner and a little bit easier to bend out. And I want to round out the whole piece. So that's going to be our next step. So we're going to taper starting at the base, and then we're going to taper it all the way out, and we'll round it out by hammering on the corners. I brought us a couple of glass bottles so that we can test our bottle openers at the end of the day. You can't make a bottle opener You can't make a bottle opener with without having a bottle to test it on. So at the end of the stream, we'll test both of our bottle openers and make sure that they function correctly. So I've been very encouraged with all of the viewer interactions that I've gotten the past few streams. It's been very exciting. I didn't really expect to see so many people show up and support me so quickly in my streaming career. But you guys have been incredibly welcoming, and I very much appreciate all of the love that you've shown, all of the follows and everything like that. So thank you guys all so much. So blacksmithing is something that's been a very passionate project for me, learning everything that I can about it. In the past, I have made money with it, but at the moment, it's kind of like I don't really have see. What am I trying to say? I don't have any commissions right now, so I've been trying to, have fun with it. I've been building up some strength and some stamina. I was sick for a while, and yeah. So it's been a lot of fun, and even if the streaming thing doesn't work out for me, it has built up a lot of my confidence, a lot of my, ability to go out and experience the world and do things. It's been exciting. Thanks for the encouragement. Yeah, followers will come with time. Like I said, I really wasn't expecting anybody for a few months. The holiday season, it's really hard. Everybody's busy with all of their the work and planning trips and getting with family and stuff. So I didn't really expect too much engagement and stuff until maybe spring, summer of next year. But I'd like to continue streaming until then. I've got some videos that I'm editing, and I'm going to put them on YouTube. So a lady blacksmith. You got here from Yankee Axe? Yes, Yankee Axe has been amazing. He has brought his community here to me, and they've all showed me so much love. You guys are amazing. I love you so much. And yeah, I am a lady blacksmith. I'm kind of on the small side, and but I love it. So it's kind of, I don't think it really matters, whether you're a guy or a girl. You can have fun with this. It takes a little bit of extra effort being so small, but we have fun. Start with this taper. So for this, we are going to start very similarly to how we started the bottle opener section. So we're going to do on 90 degrees. We're going to do both the height and the width. And we're going to establish a point, the skinniest section of the taper. We're not going to go too far at first because I want to make sure that we don't crack it. The smaller it is, or like this nose is, the easier it will be to crack it off when it cools, because the amount of material that you have here, it'll cool a lot faster because there's less there. And if you hit it when it's too cold, it'll start cracking, and I don't want to break it off. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with a decent nose, but it's not going to be too sharp. So yeah, I'm going to go back into the forge. It is very important to establish your size very early within the process. And we need to make sure we need to make sure that we are very precise when we establish that nose. You know, in my mind, when you say a blacksmith, I imagine a guy. So to see your work is very interesting, and I like following people who do crafts out of pure curiosity. Yeah, I think a lot of people really, you know, start, when you say the word blacksmithing, they think about big burly men in, like, you know, making swords and armor in like Knights of the Round Table type like videos and movies and stuff like that, and like blacksmithing and stuff. Hey, Yankee Plays, thank you for the raid. Hello. Let's see if I can do a shout out. Whoops, it's S-O, isn't it? Whoops. Hang on a second. Where is it? Yankee Plays follows me. Thank you so much for the raid, Yankee. I'm trying to... Okay, it's Yankee_plays. Let's see if I can do this now. Slash S-O Yankee _plays. Send. Unauthorized. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, it's like, I think the command is S-O, or is it shout out? Whoops. S-O with a capital? Okay. S-O. Underscore. Send. That's awesome. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. I don't think it differs. I think maybe it's at. But thank you guys for the raid. Yankee Plays and Yankee acts are, oh, is it the exclamation point? It has been so long since I have modded. Did that work? I hope it worked. Man. I'm trying, I promise. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's because I haven't like set up my shoutouts. Maybe I need to do that. But yes, go and follow Yankee Plays, or thank you very much for the raid. Thank you so much. We are currently doing bottle openers, just like the title says. We're starting with the simplest style of bottle openers, which is a, let's see, where did I put my other bottle opener? Yes, okay. So we are currently going with the straight bottle opener style. So this goes on top of the cap, and this goes underneath of the cap, and you use the leverage to open your bottle. And this is the other style of bottle opener, and so it is a round style. You put the round on top of the cap and the sunk in section here underneath of the cap, and then you use that leverage to pop it up. Or I guess it's this way. So yeah, right now we're doing the forked style. Like I said, there are as many ways to decorate a bottle opener as there are craftsmen who make them. So like I said earlier in the stream, we are currently focusing on the mechanical aspect of the bottle opener. You'd love to try and forge a wide opener? Yes. Wide openers are a lot of fun, and they take a lot of technique. And we will definitely go over that hopefully today. But like I said, we are starting with our straight section. So we are continuing the taper. So we're tapering back just to give ourselves a little bit of a thinner piece of steel so that we can kind of wrap it around. And that is the most simplistic way to go about this. And to show you what we've already done, we have started with the opening lever. So this section here will go underneath of the cap, and it'll just pop it right up. So I think you actually go this direction, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, because it curls up like that, and it kind of opens it that way. So yeah, we are tapering it back so that we can scroll it around and make it functional. I have lost one of my stands today when I tried to put my camera in the stand. It broke out of the bolt, or I guess, it broke out of the bolt. So I'm gonna have to fix that this weekend, but it's ended up happening right at stream time, so I didn't have time to fix it. Cheap viewers on streamview.com remove the space. Is that a bot? Yeah, I don't Let's see. That is a bot. Let's see if I can't ban. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's a bot, so I banned them. This is actually a lot better and easier. I finally got figured out how the app works, so I can do like admin sort of stuff in the app now. So that's exciting. So I don't have to use the / commands for rating. I can edit my system info or my stream information and all that kind of stuff. So that's exciting, and I'm learning how it functions. They are like rodents. I don't want to stream to bots. I want to stream to people. Yeah, so I am here to answer questions, anything that you've got. We're going to continue making this bottle opener. I'm trying to make a video about the bottle opener. We are losing a little bit of our... How are we doing with our... So we're running low on the gas today. So I may end up having to shut off the gas and switch the container, and we'll start up again. Is that like a power hammer? This right here? Is this what we're asking about? This is a shop press. So it's similar to a power hammer, but this guy, it's a bottle jack. It's a 20-ton shop press. And so I have an air compressor over here. And when I turn that on, it shoves air into the pneumatic jack, and that shoves the ram down, and it'll close the two die on each other. So it's very similar to a power hammer, but it's a lot slower. So whereas a power hammer is a consistent, really like quick hammering, the press is like, it's just one big ram that goes down with high pressure. So that's a 20-ton press. Yep, it's a smusher. It works really, really well for Damascus steel. So like laminating different steels together and forge welding them together. All right, so I'm gonna take you guys to the anvil, and then I am gonna do one more heat, and then we're gonna change the tanks. I've got another tank over here that's a little bit more full, so hopefully we only have to change it one time this stream. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to change the tanks. I apologize for the shake. I will definitely get that other stand fixed, and then it'll work. That way I don't have to do this anymore. All right, so we're gonna continue to taper back. All right. Straighten that out just a bit, and we're already starting to taper. So we've got our point down here, and we're gonna bring that all the way back up so that we can bend the whole thing around. So I'm gonna put this back in the forge and then I'm gonna change the tanks. And I can put you on the wide shot before I change the tanks, that way you can watch. So we'll do that. All right. Turn off the forge, and then we turn off the main gas valve on the tank itself. Then we come back. We've got ourselves a nice crescent wrench. And then, so we've got righty tighty lefty loosey. Everybody knows that wives' tale, or that you know, old adage. But for propane tanks and any really like flammable gas tanks, those are threaded backwards. Some of you might know that from your grills, your propane grills. But yeah, it's the same with like acetylene tanks and things like that. All right, hopefully this one won't freeze up on me. So yeah, it is righty loosey, lefty tighty in this case. So this is a brass fitting on a brass fitting. So it's very, very nice. It gives me a really tight seal so I don't get any leaks. I don't have to do any gas taping or anything like that. Or nylon taping. So we smell that to make sure that we don't have any gas leaking. I guess we have to turn it on before we can smell the gas. Turn that on, take a smell. Clean, just brass smell. And now we are going to restart our container. Come on. Oh, come on. There we go. And then we restart the forge. It's going to take a little bit of time to heat up again. But that gives me time to, answer questions. It says, only 3 things I know about blacksmithing are metal, anvil, and hammer. Other than that, blank, nothing, big unknown. Yeah, blacksmithing, it's not really a common knowledge. It's kind of a dying art. There are, only a few hundred blacksmiths left in the world. There are a lot more in Europe than there are in the United States. Yeah, most of the blacksmiths are in Europe. There are a few people who dabble in the area, but a lot of them are farriers or knife makers. And those are very specialized crafts. So not every piece of blacksmithing, actually, it works the same. I mean, the basics are the same, but farriers don't always use everything, and knife makers don't always use everything. Or all the techniques. All right, so I'm starting it warm. So I'm gonna take off my coat and we'll put on my apron. Yankee has a blacksmith in his town. I'm so jealous. I think I'm the only blacksmith in the area. I live in a relatively high density population area. I live a little bit further out from the like stores and stuff. I do live on about a 2-acre property, so I do have some space, but like all my neighbors, none of them have nearly as much space as I've got. So yeah, there just isn't space for a blacksmith in this area. So I think the nearest blacksmith that I know of is probably like an hour to 2 hours away. Well, if you are the only one, it makes you unique. Well, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. But yeah, there's an entire working shop in Memphis, Tennessee, and I live up on the Illinois-Missouri border. So those blacksmiths are about 3 hours away, and I think there's like a farrier somewhere in this area about an hour out from me. But those are the only blacksmiths around. I took a class with a guy, and he makes ornate grates and stuff. Yeah, that is one of the things that blacksmiths still do. They do a lot of like restoration and new construction on wrought iron fencing and housing stuff. I took a look into that for a while. I've done a few jobs in that vein myself. It's kind of boring though, because you got to do like a million of the same piece. I'd much rather do artistic blacksmithing. All right, so we're continuing to pull that taper back. Flattening it out and making it more skinny. We're getting a good taper on there. We got a little twist going, so we are hammering down the corners, and by doing that, we'll do that on the opposite corners. By doing that, we can actually correct the square. And we'll do a couple more heats on this, and then we'll start doing the scrolling on this. So like I said, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to taper this out, so I've got a little bit skinnier piece of metal that will scroll a little bit easier, because we're going to wrap the pry area around itself so that this area becomes the long prong, or like the long prong, so that we can open bottles with it. Dropping the metal. Constantly dropping the metal into the forge. Okay. Means you can charge more. Yeah, it's boring, so I can't charge more. I gotta do a lot of stuff to it. how long have I been at my craft? All right, so I graduated college in 2008, and I went to college for sculpture, and I specialized in metal fabrication and casting. About 2 years after I graduated, I met a guy who was really into blacksmithing. He wasn't very good at it himself, but he was like very excited about it and excited about learning about it. So he turned me on to the Memphis Metals Museum. And that year we both went to their one of their conferences, and they are a fully functional blacksmithy and casting facility. So they were doing a blacksmithing conference, and so you can go there and they'll teach you about blacksmithing for an entire week. So I had a week intensive courses in 2010. I did get sick in 2020. You can probably guess what I got sick with, but it really kind of messed with my lungs and my stamina. So it has taken me this long to get back out into the shop with as much stamina and like strength as I need to in order to get back out here and do blacksmithing. So I'm a little bit rusty, but blacksmithing is kind of like riding a bike a little bit. So it's not taking nearly as long as I thought it would to like shake that rust off and get back into the groove. What college did I graduate from? I graduated from Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. I went there because I heard that they had an amazing sculpture program. And I had also heard that there was some blacksmithing in the program. But what happened is 2 years before I got there, the blacksmithing instructor moved to Carbondale. So if I had to do it over again, I'd probably go down to Carbondale. So yeah, a lot of what I've learned is kind of, I learned from YouTube. I learned from several times at like the intensive 1 week courses from Memphis. I have just learned by just doing things as well. I joined the Illinois Blacksmith Association for a while, and I learned a lot from the guys in the association, but a lot of their meetings are up in northern Illinois, closer to Chicago, and I live about 5-hour drive from Chicago, so if I go, it takes me quite a while to get there. So it's just, I just can't attend all the time. Have to catch that comment when I get back. Let's see. Would be nice if it was online too. Yeah, it would be nice to learn from blacksmiths online, which you actually can do. There are Facebook groups that'll help you out really nicely. Yeah. You can search them up on, just like search the keyword blacksmith, and there are so many groups on Facebook that will help you out in your blacksmithing journey. Like I said, you can search up the Memphis Metals Museum. They have like courses and stuff that they'll tell you all about that. What style of art pieces would I want to make? When I am making art pieces for money, I have a tendency to make furniture. I make desks and tables I've made kitchen chairs and benches, and I've made coffee tables and that sort of thing. So we are continuing back this taper. We're almost ready. We're almost through that taper. Ooh, that was a really bad hit. Let's see if we can't correct it on the anvil base. It's still there, but we'll fix it. It'll go away. Ouch. Tag myself with a little bit of So as you are working with metal in the forge, it oxidizes and it creates this like it's rust, but it's like it's hot rust. So I got tagged with it as it came off. That is the number one way that I get burned in the shop. Hot rust coming off. The number two way is black metal. Black metal in a blacksmithing shop is the most dangerous thing because if you see a piece of metal and it's black, it could be hot or it could be cold and you can't tell. And you can definitely burn yourself with it. I can't tell you how many times I burned myself. Very cool. Can't wait to see what you make here on Twitch. So I have actually decided that I'm going to start off slow with really basic blacksmith projects, like brand new blacksmiths that would do. So things like hooks and leaves and bottle openers, silverware, like just really basic projects. And the reason I've decided to focus on those projects is because I don't know anything about the technological side of streaming. So like, I don't really know how to set up a camera very well. I don't know how to edit things. I'm learning Twitch, the programs and all of that sort of stuff. And if I start with basic projects that I already know how to do, they're kind of second nature to me. Then I can actually start focusing on my attention on the stuff that I don't know. Black metal sounds like a music genre. It does sound like a music genre. I think it actually is the name of a music genre. I think it is a subgenre of like screamer metal. So. Yep, screamer metal. I don't listen to screamer metal. I don't know what kind of music that you guys listen to, but I have a tendency to listen to a lot of different genres. My favorite is actually electronic dance music, or EDM. And I know that's kind of a strange style of music, but it's got a really heavy bass line, and I can hammer to it it helps with timing. Yeah, death metal. All right, we're gonna continue that taper. We are almost there. Man, I am not holding my hammer very well today. Okay. So I'm gonna grab a piece of welder's chalk, and I'm gonna grab our, where did it go? Where did my multi-tool go? I wonder if it went over here. I don't. Where did I put it? This is why you always put things like near yourself when you're streaming or blacksmithing. This is a really good way to keep your metal cold. All right, so I'm drawing out like a shape. So we want to kind of have a curl here. Let's see. You guys can't see what I'm drawing. I have a Sharpie and a piece of paper around here. That way you guys can see. Or maybe I lost that too. Where did I put it? Man, I'm all kinds of today. Where did it all go? On the floor? Did it go on the floor? I don't know. So yeah, basically we are going to bend a very shallow J shape so that we can kind of hook the pry area underneath of the bottle cap, and then we can shove it up to open it. Or I guess shove it down to open it. Let me set up my anvil again. All right. Spent 7 years working as security on events, concerts, and festivals. And you don't have my bottle opener or my Sharpie? How dare. You guys should have it. You know what? I found it. Or at least I found the bottle opener. All right, so we are going to start bending this heat. So we kind of want to put that little, the first area that we made, the little pry area, we want to kind of make a shallow J out of that. And then we can do whatever we want with whatever's gone on over here, but we want to make that, the most important part is a little curl on that J. Alright. Let's see about, whoa! See about not starting fires in my shop. Alright, so we've got this little area here, and we're gonna start hammering it down and around. If we could do that, it would be great, but I dropped it, so. Gotta reheat it. Oh no! It looks like I'm gonna have to change my tank again. I'm so sorry, guys. So, it is very important to make sure that your tank it maintains high pressure. Because if your tank has low pressure like it does right now, it starts to puff. And so what that actually means is that the gas is starting to ignite and put itself out at the same time. So it's kind of like a puffing, puff, puff, puff. So when that occurs, you got to be really careful because it could start the fire could back up into the tubes, and if it goes all the way back, it can reach the full tank. And if it reaches the tank, that's bad news. So I apologize. I thought this guy was fuller than he was. So I apologize. Come on. Which one's full? This one. Ooh. This one makes me nervous. There's like rust in the bottom of this tank. So every time I move it around, I can hear the rust rattling around in the end, or in the bottom. There we go. We can get back to smithing again. All right. They make flash arresters for that specific application. They are about $40. Here to watch you work. If changing the bottle is part of your process, I don't mind. Awesome. I did not know that there were flash arresters for that specific application. I will have to look into that. If I could find my pen, I would write that down. Where did oh, there it is. I can. All right, flash arrestor. I will Google that. Because if I can use more of my tank, that makes me happy. Go to a welding supply store. I usually do go to the welding supply store, like all the time. I've never seen one, but I've never actually looked specifically for one, so that might also be, part of it. I'm gonna change tongs here for a second. So for those of you who, are wondering why I change tongs all the time, each set of tongs are made for a specific purpose, right? So this tong is specifically sized and made for a 1/4-inch square stock. So when I close these tongs, you can kind of see that shape in there. So that is a specifically, 1/4-inch square hole so that it holds the 1/4-inch stock very securely. I also have a set of 5/8-inch tongs, and this is specifically designed to hold the 5/8-inch stock that I use all the time. I have several other sets of tongs that also all do specific jobs. This set of tongs, it's an old set that these are blade making tongs. So it's got the slits in there and it's like very skinny for a blade. So those work really well for bladesmithing. And I've got a couple sets of scroll tongs. And these are for making turns and twists in material. And I've got a set of tongs these set of tongs are for like really big material. So if I were to, you know, a giant brick of steel like this, I could stick it in here like this, and I could actually pick that up and work on it this way. So that's always very nice. I did learn something new and useful. You blow glass on occasion, that's how you know. Awesome! Blowing glass is so much fun, but it's also terrifying for me. When I was in college, we had a glass blowing class, and nobody had the same availability as me. So like we were supposed to blow glass in pairs, and partially so that you can, you know, make everything. It's the buddy system, so you guys can be all safe and stuff. But it's also partially because there are some processes that you need two people for, and no one had the same availability as me, so I had to blow glass by myself. It was a little bit scary, and I know that sounds a little bit weird, but like if I drop a piece of metal on my hand, it's just gonna fall right off, right? It'll burn. I mean, and it could do a lot of damage on its way down. But glass, if that hits me in the hand, it's just gonna stay there, and I'm just like, I just can't. I just can't. Tongs is kind of a universal pair of tongs. It has grooves so that I can place the material on corners. And I can hold it just by its corners. And so that's how it you know, how it works. So it's real nice and easy. So we are jumping this back. And we're still a little bit on the thick side, it looks like. So maybe on Monday when we do this again, we'll taper it back out a little bit more thinly. So we've started that curl. We're gonna bring this section back a little bit on our next heat so that we have enough space to get the bottle cap underneath of there. And I mean, that's like still really basic. It will still function once we like pull those apart a little bit, but it's kind of, you know, fast and ugly. So as I said at the beginning of the stream, there are as many ways to make and decorate a bottle opener as there are craftsmen that make them. So today we are making quick and dirty bottle openers that are completely functional, and it's function over form today. And then on Monday, we are going to be focusing on our form. So I will come in and I've got a few designs that I'm gonna work on this weekend, and we're gonna make some specific designs, and I'll show you like my little drawings and everything. Season's greetings. Yes, happy holidays. Christmas is less than a week away. I cannot believe it. It's crazy. So crazy. This whole year has like flown by. I feel like it was like just summer last week. right. So once we finish with this one, we're going to start with the round style, or I'm going to start working on a round style. Where did I put it? I put it over here, didn't I? Or maybe I did. Good Lord. There we go. We're going to start working on a round style bottle opener. Very similar to this one. So this is the one that I made several years ago. So what we're going to do is we're going to like start punching out a hole, and then we will expand that in the anvil's horn, and then we will put the divot in, and that way it'll be functional. But that is our goal for today. And if we do not finish this one, we will be back on Monday to finish it. For me, it's just another day in the week. Ah, that is sad. You have to work on Christmas. I used to have to work on Thanksgiving, and that was bad enough. I used to work at a grocery store, and so we would cater people's entire Thanksgiving dinners, and so I'd end up having to like work on Thanksgiving to kind of like distribute them. And once again, I will make sure that I have fixed my close-up rig so that you guys can see things over the anvil as opposed to at anvil level. All right, so I'm gonna go over to the horn. We're gonna pop this up like so. So we've now popped up the bottle opener, and we'll bring that down a little bit so that it's centered on there. So, and then, so now we can use the opener by like hooking under the cap and popping up like this. So hopefully this functions. We can, but yeah, that should function pretty well. After we're done with or at the end of the stream, I will open a bottle with this, and we'll see how functional it really is. So. Quench that off. So, like I said, black metal, pretty dangerous, but yeah. We've got ourselves a bottle. And we'll stick that under there. And looks like we need to open it up just a hair more. So I will actually put that back in the forge, and we'll open it up a little bit more. And then, because I want to start on the next one soon, here's the piece of material that we're going to use. So basically how this is going to work is we are going to isolate a little section of the tip of this piece of bar by hanging it off of the anvil and hitting it straight on, shoving the piece of material over the anvil. So we are shelving it just very similarly to shelving a leaf, but we're going to create a square. We're going to hit it in a square. So from here, and then 90-degree turn here, 90-degree turn here, and 90-degree turn, so that we've isolated this section of steel at the tip. And then once we've isolated this section, we'll flatten that out, and we will start using a punch and punch a hole through it. So I'm gonna put it inside, or the material inside the forge to start it heating up. Oh, you're a train, or you work on a train? Are you a train conductor, or are you just working on the train? Like, I think they have like train directors and stuff like that, people that change the tracks and things like that. Is that what you do? Or I have a friend who he fixes train cars. So when a train gets, like, train cars get derailed and they like crush up and stuff, he welds them and like his company fixes them. Oh, a train driver. That is exciting. I have so much respect for you guys. You work so many long hours. Oh, and I mean, that is a crazy job. It sounds like it'd be fun. Don't like Christmas though? Man, I like Christmas. It's not as magical now that I'm an adult, but it's really fun to watch the kids get all excited and everything. I don't have any kids myself, but I have like nieces and nephews, and they get really, really excited, and they're constantly running around screaming and opening presents and stuff. I watch videos from the cab on YouTube. Watch trains. Yeah. They do have videos of like the inside of the train and stuff. That's so neat. Like, YouTube is such an incredible resource, and it's so new too. Like, YouTube didn't exist when I was in high school even. It's so great. I mean, it's how I learned how to blacksmith. A lot of my different techniques. I mean, what I wasn't able to learn in Memphis, or like, you know, from club meetings, I learned everything else from YouTube. It's so convenient. Anytime the car breaks down, you watch the YouTube video and you can just fix it on your own, unless it's like one of those crazy computer car problems. My last truck, the electronic board went bad, and so it couldn't sense its sensors anymore, and so it just would not shut, or it will not turn on anymore. So I had to get a new truck. Hours of video. The one going through the snow are my favorite. I do streams from the train from time to time. Oh, that'd be so cool. I will 100% look up your channel. You got any VODs up right now? I'd love to see that. So cool. Yankee, your community is so cool. Thank you for sharing them with me. All right, so we are going to separate these two pieces a little bit further. So I think we're a little bit too separated now. We'll hit it a couple more times. I think. So what I'm doing is here, let me show you what I'm doing. I didn't realize that my camera wasn't showing everything. Okay, so if I put the hook around the horn, I can kind of shove it along the horn, and it will actually start separating out the two sides. So I think I've separated a little bit too far now, and now it's too far the other way. That's the thing, right? Gotta make sure that you don't go too far in one direction or too far the other. Okay. There we go. That should function pretty well. So yeah, we should be able to, open the bottle with this. So I will quench it off, or the bottle with this. So I'll quench it off one more time, and we'll see what we can do with that. All right, hot metal, steamy metal. It's not too hot though. So back with our bottle, a nice frosty bottle. Okay, yes, this functions. So what you do is you hold it on this end over here, and you can pull it up, and it'll open it right up. So this is the first style. I think this is the most simplistic style of bottle opener. So yeah, it's just, yeah, you open it like this. But yeah, it's a very simple style of bottle opener, and you can add whatever else you want to this style, decorate it however you like. I don't want to take away your viewers, but I am working today, and if I go somewhere, I can start the stream if you'd like to see it, but like I said, I don't want to draw people away from your stream. Hard to be subtle with a big hammer. It is hard to be subtle with a big hammer. And I am, I'm only going to be streaming for maybe another 30 to 40 minutes. So, I mean, I can raid you after I'm done streaming, and then we can all watch. That would be a lot of fun. That'd be really cool to see. And if you don't want to today, that's great. That's great too. I can watch some of your older streams, or, in the future. Okay, so the next piece of material is already hot for us, ready to go. So for this one, we are, oh man, I just dropped that piece really far back in the forge. Okay, here we go. So we got a nice hot piece of material, and we are going to isolate a little bit. So we are kind of creating ourselves a square profile as we are isolating this material. And part of the reason that I'm doing this is because I like to see a little bit of a taper on the end of my pieces, or of my my bottle openers, because I think it just looks a little bit more pretty. So we're tapering out that a little bit, creating a square so that we can set it straight on the anvil. So right now we are precisely isolating that section that we're going to flatten out and turn into the round section of the bottle opener. Because of course. Oh man. Let's see. I lost my piece. There we go. That'll work. That'll work. Too much shake in this angle change. Let's see. I'm currently staying at our depot. I do cargo, not passenger trains, but I have a link to my YouTube channel if you'd like to watch some of my past rides. If you have some snowdrifts to burst through, I want to see that. I would love to see your YouTube. Yeah, send a link. Send a link and we will definitely take a look at your YouTube channel. Sorry, no snow. Man, we don't get much snow here either. I am just north enough that it gets cold and just south enough that we get ice, not snow. Yeah, I live on the Illinois and Missouri border. I live pretty close to St. Louis. So yeah, it's kind of weird here. We get tornadoes, we get hail, and we get ice all the time. We get snow every once in a great while. We get like 1 snow a year. Yes. Even if you don't have very much, you know, I'm still interested. It sounds really cool. Yeah. So cool. Everybody always tells me my job is cool. And I'm all like, you guys have the cool jobs. So we are going to continue isolating the tip of our bottle opener. And we are creating 4 sides so that we don't slip up. We need to be really precise when we're doing this so that way we get a right angles and not craziness. Because if we have craziness, then it makes it so much harder on ourselves. All right. Here, let me go over here. This is the hardy hole. It's going to be a little bit louder, but I can get a much flatter. Much flatter area to go on work surface. So I always recommend using every face of your anvil, including the front face, the back face, this face, all of them. All of it is a tool. All of it can be used. All right, and so we have isolated a little bit this tip section here, and this is the section that we're gonna flatten out and punch the hole in. Isolate, discombobulate. Yes. They are very interesting words. There are so many great words in the English language. I try to use as many as I can. But if I use a word and it's like, you know, too much or too jargony, let me know. It's kind of like my partner when he gets all into the weeds with his video technical terms. I'm just like, what does that mean? And it's not that I don't understand the word once he explains it to me. It's not like a hard word or anything. It's just, you know, I'm unfamiliar with that particular word for the moment, and it's a great time to learn. It's from the Sherlock Holmes meme. I think I've missed that meme. I know you did a shop tour last time, but I forget. Do you have some Hardy Hole tools that fit my anvil? I actually do. I don't know, like, let's see. Let's go back out here. Where are my Hardy tools? I have a couple. Some of them I've actually like, oh, I am dropping clamps. So it's been a really long time since I've used my Hardy. So this one is kind of a round face. So I used this one to do some, wait, is this one not designed? Okay, this one is not, this one's designed for my other anvil. My other anvil is outside right now. So this is a Hardy tool, but it's not for this anvil. Yeah, those ones aren't too nice of clamps, so I'm not too worried about them. This is another one. This one actually does fit in this Hardy. So what this one is it's actually a bowl forming tool. So this is a silversmithing tool. So it's for bowl raising. So I put this guy in my Hardy, and then, well, what do you know? So this is a round disc of copper. So what I can do is, let me show you a little bit. I'll turn it this way. And so I can actually like I can hammer it around in a circle and it'll start forming a bowl. So this is a really thick circle, but yeah, I have a few tools for this Hardy. And then I have other tools that fit in clamps and stuff, and jigs and all sorts of stuff. It's kind of been one of those, like, you make a tool when you need a tool kind of things. Yeah, the clamp I dropped, it was not one of my really good clamps, like my good woodworking clamps. I do actually have some woodworking tools. I'm really terrible at woodworking, but I always try because I like to make furniture. And nobody wants to see legs without a top. So, you know, I gotta do some woodworking. So we're gonna do another round on the Hardy just to isolate that material and create a square profile that we can use to flatten this out real nice. Okay, so now we're gonna start flattening this out. And you get nice, consistent, heavy hits using your full body. And then we're going to try and keep the sides parallel to one another. So we've got a nice parallel lines going there and not like flaring out, because it's very easy to flare this out because the material is it's got a free area over there that it can just expand out, whereas over here I've kind of crimped it in, so it's not going to go nearly as far. And that is part of the reason why you want to isolate your material there. All right. What do I got for questions? I need some sweet black steel table legs. I got lots of nice tabletop material. Been looking for old cast iron legs from sewing machines and stuff. Yeah, sewing machine, like the old sewing machines, they have such great legs. My mom redid like 2 or 3 old sewing machines, and they're gorgeous cast iron. So cool. I mean, much better than what I do with cast iron. So cast iron also makes great casting fodder for iron pours. And I don't do any iron pours myself, but in both in school and in at the Metals Museum, they do iron pours every year. So you bust up old cast iron radiators, and then you put them in a mixture of coke and cast iron in like these little 1-inch chunks, and you put them in the crucible and the cupola, and it melts it all up, and you pour it down and cast whatever you want. It's so great. It's so much fun. It's hot as all get out, and it's so much work, but it's a blast. Well, what do you know? Work has found me. I gotta run, but I'll make a video and post it on my channel. Awesome. Have fun with your train driving. Be safe. Hopefully nothing happens. Thank you for watching. All right, I'm gonna close the forge a little bit, keep some of that heat in. We're starting to lose pressure again, but I think we'll be okay. I gotta stop streaming pretty soon anyway. I've got a pretty hard. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. But yeah, I've got a pretty hard cutoff today because I've got a couple more appointments that I gotta finish up today. So I think we're gonna probably end in about 10 or 15 minutes. So I will be continuing this project on Monday, and we're gonna do some more pretty and delicate pieces with these bottle openers. And we'll also open a bottle or two. And I just closed this. And now I have to open it again so that I can get my material. There we go. Here we go. All right, so we're going to continue flattening out that end. And we're making a nice section that we can punch a hole through. So we really only need to make it about as wide as our punch. But we definitely also want to thin out this section. We've got just a little bit further. We really only want to thin that out to about half the diameter of, half the height of the diameter of this particular round stock. And the reason we don't want to have to punch through all of this material, but we want enough material that we can stretch it on the horn so that we can have a round section. So if we flatten it out all nice, then we'll be able to punch through with the hole punch. And this is an old one. This is probably not the one I'm going to use. But yeah, we punch through here just like this. And this is actually probably the punch I used because it is the exact size of the lifting mechanism on this particular piece. So yeah, we punch all the way through and then we take it onto the horn of the anvil over here and we start widening it out. We widen out that hole along the horn of the anvil, and that's how we create that nice round. All right. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish flattening out the section that we're going to punch. Make it a little bit thinner and a little bit wider so that we have enough room for the punch for the hole. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the full punch on Monday. So if you guys want to, watch me punch a hole in hot steel, Monday at 2:30 Eastern, I'll be here. We'll see about making something more pretty too. All right, Yankee, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for coming and watching. Don't hurt yourself shoveling and stay warm. Have a great rest of your day. You know the right. I don't know the right. You'll have to tell me the right sometime. Yeah. All right. One more heat and I'll probably wrap up today. Because we're starting to lose our gas again and getting to a point where we're going to need we're going to be starting a long-term process again. Of course I would drop it on the last heat. All right. We are continuing to thin out that end. Getting a nice a nice section that we've got ready to go to punch the hole on Monday. And we got to keep that nice and parallel. Looks like we've got a little bit more meat on that side, so we'll definitely want to move that around. And that's another process we can. All right, so we've already started moving it over that direction, so we will definitely continue that on Monday. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for the raid. Thank you all for the comments and the conversation. I've had a blast. So have a great rest of your day. Bye. You guys too have a great weekend.